You can do it.
Go on, off you go.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Funnyfarm Pod guest edition. I hope we're all well out there. Today we've got Charlie, who just bailed out on doing the intro because we all know he always fucks it up.
That's why I never did it, because you say that, you numpty.
He's just given me a line, haven't you? That's what it is, mate.
Yeah, go on.
And we've got our wonderful special guest today, Danny Moore. How are you doing, Danny?
All good. How are you?
Excellent, mate. Excellent. I did say I'm loving the beard, mate. I'm loving the beard because
just trying to look older and wiser.
Yeah,
I can't grow a beard. It gets to us like about half a centimetre or a centimetre, and I just get so itchy. I've just got to shave it off. It's horrible.
We all know, like from watching the pods, if you've watched the pods when Joe was on them and stuff like that, you know Charlie's got a big thing about his baldness and this, that, and the other. Why don't you just tell everybody you're allergic to hair?
I'm not bald. I'm not. I've just got a long face. I've always had a high hairline.
Yeah, so have I, mate. So have I. Yeah.
No, that feeling well, yeah.
So, Danny, great to have you on, mate. Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, good to be here.
And chat some shit with us. Give us a bit of an intro about yourself, mate. So, what are you about? What do you do? Life like?
Well, comedy-wise, mainly darker one-liners, covering, I don't know, everything from dating, single fatherhood. Probably more like a Lidl's Gary Delaney, I guess. And then work-wise, work as a support worker for a mental health charity. Been going about just over 2 years and getting as many gigs as I can, really. Really enjoying it so far.
You mentioned Gary Delaney there. Is he like one of your main influences then? I mean, I love Gary.
I wouldn't say so, no, but there's been a couple of gigs afterwards people have said, oh, you really remind me of him. So I'll take that.
Yeah, well, anyone would take that, mate. I mean, he's awesome. Go on, Chaz.
Yeah, just a bit.
I just wanted to put my hand up there in the studio. Do you like that? I haven't got a clue who Gary Delaney is, by the way. So can you fill me in? I wouldn't know him.
Can you fill me in?
Oh, Sarah Millican's husband is massively famous for doing one-liners. Dark hair and glasses. I'm not sure where else we can go with that.
But my opinion, Gary Delaney is one of the best comedians in the country, as far as
definitely.
And he's done. I think he did Mock the Week back in the day. He did a lot of the panel shows. He's done Apollo. Married to Sarah Millican, who is one of the best comedians in the country.
She is good.
He's known for his dark one-line jokes.
Yeah.
One-liner comedian. And, you know, when people say you can't joke about anything, the likes of him and Jimmy Carr book that trend. They do joke about pretty much anything, but their fucking jokes are so good and well written that they just, I mean, to be likened to Gary Delaney, that's a massive compliment, mate. That is a really big.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. So
that's why I put the little bit in front of it. So.
Sorry.
Oh.
Just keep going.
Just timed out a bit then.
Yeah, just keep
going.
All right. The Riverside stuff that we use to do the podcast, it does catch up. It's like if we pixelate or anything like that, don't worry about it. It does catch itself up. But yeah, obviously sound-wise, if you can't hear us, we just slow down a bit. But so you work for a mental health charity?
Yeah. It's something I've wanted to do for a very long time.
Yeah.
I've been here about 3 years from suffering myself and wanted to help other people.
Yeah. How long? So you've been there 3 years, you say, and you're a support worker?
Yeah.
Right at the coalface then.
Just a bit. We got supported housing and obviously people in the community then. So the main bulk of it is tenancy-related work, benefits, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So I used to work I was a manager for Stonham Housing Home Group many years ago. But I finished my degree in 2010-11, and so my start in comedy was around that point. So I was doing very similar to you. I applied for a support worker job because I'd just finished uni, ended up becoming a manager. So I was a senior manager for the Derbyshire services. Very, very tough work, but very rewarding in the fact that you're helping people all the time. So what kind of client group do you work with? I was ex-offenders, and then I went on to young people.
Basically anyone over the age of 18.
Yeah. So
it's a good mix. Yeah.
And do you kind of cover the full spectrum? So, I mean, I did sort of like from mild learning difficulties all the way up to full-blown mental health issues, bipolar, paranoid schizophrenia, that kind of stuff. Do you do the full?
Well, it's mainly lower level mental health, but it can be anyone, from, say, depression, anxiety to, coming out of long, prolonged stays in secure units, getting them their own place, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So it's like working with them on the move on and getting everything.
Yeah.
Danny, you mentioned that you wanted to get into mental health because you'd suffered yourself. I mean, can you expand on that a little bit if you want to? Don't feel like you have to. Just
it's suffering with really bad depression and anxiety for ever since I was young, really, to be honest.
Right. Yeah.
And then unfortunately developing. I'm not sure the right way of terming it, to be honest, but using self-harm as a coping mechanism and getting addicted to the pain of that, which took a long time, about 10, 15 years to get over, to find different coping methods.
Yeah.
I think this is a subject that, just put your hand up if you don't want to keep talking about this, mate, because that's a very personal thing to discuss. Self-harm wise, I tried committing suicide when I was in my early 20s. To be fair, the biggest level of self-harm I've got now is this. So I pulled my beard out. That's the level. But I think
I've got it with my eyebrows as well. I don't know if you can see, but yeah.
Yeah, the old phrase "I'm pulling my hair out." It's based on a factual thing that people when they get stressed and anxious, they harm themselves by pulling their hair out. It's as simple as that. I knew a lad who had a big bald patch at the side of his head, and that's because he used to pull his hair out. And it's one of those. And self-harm's really difficult to understand if you haven't done it yourself and stuff. I think for people out there, I've got family connections to this as well, and it's hard to understand when you're a family member why people do. It's purely and simply it stops you feeling the feelings, doesn't it? And it kind of that pain that you feel. I don't know. It's a weird situation to be in, isn't it? That you do that, but it makes things feel better.
I think for me, it's definitely a control thing. When I feel things getting out of control and spiraling, I feel like a bottle of Coke that's been shaken. And when I did resort to cutting myself, sorry, this is going a bit deep really quickly, but that tend to relieve the pain. I've found a coping mechanism called little ouchies. There's little cylindrical toys that have got spikes on them, which you can squeeze, which is really brilliant.
Wow.
And then if anyone else is dealing with self-harm, either with a family or themselves, there's a brilliant charity called Battle Scars. And they go through, help people with lived experience. And it's not just simple things like cutting yourself. It can be eating, getting, I don't know, say tattoos. There's multiple ways of self-harm, and they're really good and run groups online most weeks, I think.
That's really interesting. I might put people onto that, and when we put the episode out, feel free, we'll tag you in the episode.
Brilliant.
Feel free in the comments just to put any links that you want to put in for people, Mind or whatever other scars, there's loads of really good mental health charities out there. A couple of male ones that I know of, Bottled Up Blokes and Andy Mann's Club. Specifically for men. We aren't just talking about male mental health on this pod, but I think it's an area where it's a little bit underrepresented, and blokes feel a little bit less likely to talk about their issues and stuff. So thank you for sharing on that front. Both myself and Charlie, we're on board with you. We understand it.
Definitely, yeah.
We both suffered with our mental health really badly over the years, and as I just mentioned, to the basic, to the end degree, really, where we've both tried taking our own lives. And
well, I've been there as well. Yeah,
yeah,
3 or 4 occasions.
Not a nice place to be in, is it, at the time? And
No, but if anyone is feeling like that, definitely reach out for help. There is light at the end of the tunnel.
There is, and I mean, when us three show that there is, there is life after that. You're not going to be in that place forever. You can get through it, and there's lots of people who can help you get through it. You just need to reach out. Yeah.
I remember when I was in that position, an old pal of mine. I don't know if I've said this on the pod before. It's so simple what he said, but it rings true to me even to this day. So we're going back 20 odd years, and I'd literally just come out of hospital after trying to, I was in hospital for a number of days on drips and this, that, and the other. And he just turned around. He used to call me Brattle. His name's Rob, lovely bloke.
Yeah.
He'd suffered badly with his mental health as well. And he is actually an alcoholic. I still keep in touch with him. And he turned around and said, "What the fuck are you doing, Brattle? You can't do anything about it if you're dead." And that really rung true with me. It was kind of like, that's the most sensible thing anyone's ever said to me. You don't have to do you've got to deal with it and, reach out to people who can help you. Like I say, there's a lot of people out there that can help you.
And I think it's important, if you're worried about someone having those feelings of suicide, to address it, because you're not going to implant the idea of suicide. That's going to be already there. So you might be actually reaching out and saving someone.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I know we always give sort of like advice, and we say there's always people there. But I mean, I think the reality is when you're actually in that position, you just it's easy for us to say. It's harder to do, isn't it? It's harder to actually
definitely
make that first move and speak to somebody, or pick up the phone, or open your mouth for the first time. You're not the only one who's been through these feelings and these thoughts, and everybody has them. Everybody in the world. And if anybody says they've never had them, I think they're lying. I think everybody has these thoughts, so people can cope with them better than other people.
It goes right the way back. I mean, for me, it was like I've said on this pod a few times. Like for me, I only realise now how long ago I started suffering depression, because it goes back to when you're at school, or I used to suffer massive anxiety going to football practice or clubs or anything like that. I used to go to these things. Yeah. You just do, don't you? And when you're there, it's fine. It's that anxiety.
It's just getting there and getting involved. Yeah.
And I still have that anxiety before gigs. I'll still have that anxiety. I've been gigging on and off for 15 years, more off than on, as I say. But the last year, I'm very similar to yourself. So I came back into comedy November 24, and I've done about 50 gigs since then. So I've come back and smashed it out of the park. But even now, sometimes I'm like, I really don't want to do this. I don't really want to go to this gig. I've got the anxiety. And as soon as I get there, I'm absolutely 100% fine. And it's if you've ever woken up and gone, I don't want to go to work today. That's it. That's the kind of that's a small bit of evidence that everybody has suffered this. Yeah. Because if you wake up every day and you're like, "Woo, I'm happy for today. I'm glad I'm doing this. I'm glad I'm doing that," then you're the person who can turn around and go, "I've never suffered anxiety and depression." If you've ever woke up and gone, "I don't want to go to work today. I don't want to go out today. I don't want to go and see my family today," or any of those, like right in the morning, that initial thing, and I suffer that even to today. And for me, I still wake up and go, "Why the fuck have I woken up today?" Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's
unfortunately, some days,
Yeah,
But I'm lucky. I've only had to cancel, I don't know, maybe 10 gigs over the past couple of years because the anxiety was just too bad.
yeah, yeah. It's one of it's just an experiential thing that is. So anyway, on to the stand up then. So we've
Oh
started off
yeah,
deep there, and I will make sure I put a bit of a trigger warning on the
might have to on that bit. Yeah.
to make sure people don't jump into self harm and oh, that's triggered me kind of thing. So, but thank you for sharing that. We did go in deep quick, so let's try and lighten it up a little bit then. So, what
The
got you?
dark humour, yeah.
I mean, we are like I say this all the time. I've not really met any comedian on the circuit that hasn't got some kind of tism or mental
Oh,
health
definitely, yeah.
or whatever it is. So, what's your background? When was that first little thing in your head where you went, I'm good, I love comedy, I want to try this?
Uh, just watching it growing up, all the late night stuff on Channel 4, like Bill Hicks and Robin Williams, that I probably shouldn't have been watching, Lily Savage, stuff like that. Montreal Comedy Festival, just anything comedy I could find, I watch. When I was about 18, I was doing theatre lighting and I had to go on stage for a mic check and I froze and I thought I couldn't speak, I couldn't get the words out. So I thought comedy's not for me. And then I saw Ultra Comedy advertised and thought I'll give that a go.
You see so
And
many people now that have gone through the ultra comedy um,
yeah,
program and stuff. It's mad. I did a course, but it was probably years before Ultra came out. It
Is
was
this a
called,
course? Is it ultra comedy?
yeah.
yeah, 6 week course. And then
Be on it.
first gig was in front of 154 people.
Yeah.
So a nice small crowd to start off.
Hey, we could do that. We could put me on that course, couldn't we? And we could, yeah, we could build some content off it.
Yeah, and you'd have to wear your Everton shirt.
Piss off. Once we get to 1,000 followers, it's getting raffled off for a mental health charity. We'll probably go to donate, aren't we?
Have you seen the content we've been putting out with, well, what Charlie's been putting out about his Everton shirt? So he's got to wear the Everton shirt. He's a mad Liverpool fan. He's got to wear the Everton shirt until we get to 1,000 followers. So, yesterday we had a bit of an influx of followers. So
Yeah.
I'm growing my Facebook profile or whatever you want to call it with, trying to build my followers. So, like, before Charlie put the Everton shirt on, every day I'd go on and invite everybody who was on my friend list. I just stopped doing it when he did this Everton thing. So I did it yesterday. There was about 30 or 40 people on there. So we had about 4 or 5 up from what I did yesterday. But
yeah, we've had. Yeah, I did mine yesterday as well.
it's a hard position for me to be in, mate. I'll be honest, because it's like, on one hand, I obviously want us to grow our pod and grow the Funnyfarm Facebook page. On the other hand, I quite like.
But you don't want the shirt to go.
I'm seeing him in the Everton shirt every day.
Hey, I think I might do that ultra comedy thing. That sounds good, though.
Do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I'm like, as part of the pod, that'd be good, though.
Get it done, mate. Who does it? Do we know anyone who does? I can put a few feelers out for you, mate. But Google it. It'll be online, I'm guessing. You can just.
Yeah, unless there's any local comedians doing their own 6 week course or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be funny.
To be fair, there's been like loads of comedians come out of the course. That course, it's pretty intense. 6 weeks. The one I did was 2 weeks, I think. Or it might have even been
Oh,
one.
well.
And it was literally a one day on Sunday that I did, and that kick-started me in because I've been trying to help a guy, a mate of mine who wants to get into comedy, and he sent me a load of stuff, and I'm like, look, he literally written like loads and loads of it, basically his thoughts onto a page, and I'm like, comedy doesn't work like it works in the pub because somebody.
Yeah.
You're sat with 3 or 4 of your mates in the pub. They'll know you. You'll know them. They'll have some back history on you. You can just say something, and if you're a funny guy, you'll if you've got funny bones. That's how I got into comedy. I mean, years and years ago, they were like, "You're so funny. Get on stage. Go and do it." And I did. Like the first gig I ever did was a spiky mic gong, and I bombed massively, but I loved it. I bombed, but I got the buzz for it straight away. And it was because I went on there. I was doing jokes about Jordan's tits and Peter Andre and David Beckham, all the hack shit.
Yeah.
And I bombed, but it was stuff that I'd have said in the pub and it had got a laugh. And I said to this chap, you need to go, before you start just trying to write what you think's funny on a page, go and learn how to write a joke.
Okay.
The truest form of that joke is what you do, Danny, because I don't do one-liners, but the truest form of it is what you do, which is premise, setup, punch.
Yeah.
That's your joke. And I said that to this chap, so I think he has gone and watched a bit of comedy now, and he's doing that. But
I think that's the other secret, is get out and watch as much as you can as well.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to end up talking about the same stuff everyone else is. And
yeah, I mean, you mentioned a lot of American influence there, didn't you?
to start with, yeah. But then saying that I absolutely love Brendan Burns, who's Australian.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, say Frankie Boyle, Jimmy Carr. Trying to think of more British people, but my mind's gone blank. So
yeah, but the people that you've just named there make sense, don't they, for the kind of humour that you do now?
yeah,
Frankie Boyle, I thought was brilliant. I mean, was he one of the first big cancellings? He got pushed, kicked off.
Yeah, probably 3 or 4 different times, I think. Yeah,
yeah. I think Frankie Boyle's really funny, and I like the fact that he goes I've mentioned on the pod my two at the moment that are massively in the public eye. Ricky Gervais and Jimmy Carr are my two go-tos. I love them guys. And then slightly outside of the public eye, I love Adam Rowe.
oh yeah,
fantastic. Freddie
and Jamie Hutchinson. Oh, Freddie Quinn and Rob Mulholland. Yeah,
they're brilliant, and they're all dark. Adam's not dark.
No, I don't think so.
But your Quinns, your Rob Mulhollands, they're quite dark comedians, and I love all that. But then I'm really eclectic, so I love Mickey Flanagan as well, who's not dark at all. So it's mad, the difference. But I like the way these guys are just going out there and they are saying what they want to say, and making it a little bit it's coming round a little bit where just say what you find funny, but make it funny.
Yeah.
Don't you can't just come out and make a rubbish attempt at a joke. If you're going to tackle dark subjects, they've got to be really, really funny at the end of the day, and
and hopefully, and in a clever way as well.
Yeah,
it's what I aim for. But
yeah, all my stuff kind of.
For somebody who's listening and they don't understand what dark comedy is or a dark joke is, can you just explain what it is?
I think it's definitely the subject matter or perspective on something that's going to be labelled, the majority of people would avoid as a joke, and it could be taboo.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of my darker stuff is aimed at myself, I would have thought.
Right, okay. If you did a joke about
I don't know. It's I've got a memory condition as well, where basically I can't remember any of my childhood stuff like that, and I really struggle to remember stuff. So I've normally got notes written all down my arms, and the joke that I came up with was I would have written down a bit more on my arms, but with all the self-harm, it'd be like graffiti on tiger bread.
Oh.
So hopefully that's an example. Sorry, I butchered it, but yeah.
That's the joke that I heard. I've just watched a clip of you on Sit Down for Stand-Up, and I think you do.
I think I did it right at the end, yeah.
Yeah, that's the joke that you've done there. I only saw a clip of it. I've been on the pod as well. I've been on Danny's pod. But yeah, it's like if you do jokes about paedophilia or anything like that, that would be classed as
a
joke. Anything that is taboo, really.
Yeah.
But
The worst thing is if you say that you've got a dark sense of humour and someone will come up to you and sort of look round a bit and go, I've got one, it's just stop them there because you know it's just going to be racist. Just no, I'm not interested.
yeah, yeah, there's a line there about
Yeah,
there's stuff that people just don't do anymore. Really, I mean, there are comedians out there that still tackle race and stuff like that. I got called misogynistic when I first started because I did a lot of. I mean, still, my wife is still in my set, because I did a. You do what you basically. If you were to jump into comedy now, the first advice I'd give you, Charlie, would be write down all the stuff you do day to day as a list. All the stuff, school run, rugby training, all this stuff. So write everything down that you do on a day to day basis. Just literally list it all. Then list all the things that you hate, all the things that you love, all the things that scare you, all the things that make you want to fucking cry. Just anything that links to emotion, and then go through those things and make lists of what the first things that come to your mind on those things are. So the school run might be traffic. I always get stuck in traffic. Every red light hits me. The school mums piss me off because they're always talking about Botox. The school dads, I love them because they're always telling me wanking stories or whatever it may well be. List all that shit out and then pick one of those and start thinking about how you can make that into a joke. And that's how you go. I think is that the Adam Bloom method. I've just basically outlined what he tells, like what he says in the book. But it'll be in any course that you do. They'll rip it right back to. I mean, the book I got on comedy was Judy Carter's book, who's an American comedian, and she goes through all that. Like, write a list of things that scare you, write a list of things that you're afraid of, write a list of things that make you happy, make you sad, and that's where comedy comes from. But that allows it to become completely original, rather than watching a comedian and going, oh, how can I do a joke about the school run? It just takes that away. So that'd be it. But these courses have kind of shot up in popularity. I'm not sure who. I know that two friends of mine, Anthony and Dawn, were doing ultra comedy. They were doing it, but I don't know where. I don't know where they do it, so I can reach out and find out for you, Charlie, if you are interested in doing it.
It might be something for the pod actually that we could look at. I think that could be quite interesting. That I need to get this Everton shirt off first. Anyway, I'm going to be in for a few months. I don't want to give myself any more anxiety, do I?
Yeah. What's the best gig you've ever had, Danny? What's your favouriteest gig ever?
it was a bit of a rough venue. It was for champion bare knuckle boxers in the Welsh Valleys.
Wow.
It was just one of those ones that was just absolutely bonkers. And my second favourite, perhaps tied, would be a venue that was doing comedy, but also a 21st birthday. All the people celebrating the birthday were dressed up as Disney characters. And at one point it kicked off. You had the seven dwarfs and Jafar just scrapping with everyone else. It's brilliant.
So you've just basically said that your favourite
Sums up Wales.
your favourite gigs were your favourite gigs because of what happened outside of the comedy, not the comedy.
It added to the overall atmosphere. It was great.
Yeah, brilliant. What about you? What's your worst gig? Have you got one that stands out in your head, or have you just gotten rid of it from your mind?
No, it was just outside Birmingham. And I don't know, I must have been 10 or 12 gigs in, thinking I was absolutely amazing. Went up there, died on my arse for 10 minutes. The owner of the bar fell asleep. It was just great, yeah. Walked off to absolute silence. It was a long hour and a half journey home thinking, why am I doing this to myself?
We've all had those. I mean, the worst one for me was very recently, actually. I mean, I'd probably say 1 in 20 gigs are bad. It tends to be like pretty good. And I did a gig which was for a bowling club, which was for a friend of mine. And I in the end, I said I don't want the fee. I should have taken the fee because it wasn't. Well, you know, when you think about it afterwards, it was the way.
Yeah, you should.
It was the way it was set up. It wasn't that.
Sorry.
Wasn't. Oh, you got someone crying. That's quite funny.
Yeah. That's a busy office. What can we say? But there was. I just thought of another very bad gig I had. My mate runs a gig in Caerphilly, and he asked me to open it, and I'd come up with some material about saving the NHS with euthanasia that also involved trying to get over my mum's death. You know, nice, cheery, light subjects. But the average age of the audience was maybe 65, 70, all female, and I gave up after 6 or 7 minutes and just walked off.
Yeah.
I realised looking back it was the wrong material for the crowd, but yeah, it was just awful. And I just felt so bad that I'd let my mate down. There was another couple of people I look up to who also run gigs. I just thought I've made an absolute twat of myself here.
How do you find opening as a darker joke writer?
It was my second time doing it.
Yeah.
So I think I need to come up with a lot more universal material, something not as dark.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, maybe like a few minutes of crowd work to start with. Just ease into it gently rather than just launching straight into it and, yeah, feeling like I've ruined the night.
You've kind of got to, I mean, like looking at a perspective of somebody who does darker material, it's like we said at the beginning of, wow, we've gone in deep early. That's like a comedy gig, isn't it? It's like, you know, I think if you're going to do dark material at the beginning of a comedy gig, then you need the MC to have really, really warmed them up and told a couple of darker bits. So
Yeah.
I do a bit of MCing, and if I knew you were coming on after me, I'd have had to have done a couple of dark bits to get you to just so you've got a bit of a barometer as to where I'm at with this. But yeah, that must be quite a tough opening to. I mean, the opening of my
Yeah.
to be fair. I always do a bit of crowd room work stuff to start with, but I talk about alcoholism, liver disease, and diabetes at the beginning of my set. So you know, it's not dark; it's quite playful, but you know, it's dark material, if you know what I mean. It's
Yeah,
dark material.
I guess with stuff like that and also the mental health stuff, it's definitely about finding the right way of phrasing it.
Yeah.
Because I had a bit about the previous suicide attempt and also a joke that involved the word cancer as well, which wasn't a joke about cancer. It probably doesn't make sense, but it was essentially how I was sent an email at work that said, "Hi, hope you're well," and instantly my brain just said, type back, "I'm fine, thanks, but the cancer's terminal." So I was trying to phrase to people how my brain works, but it's as soon as you mention that word, it kind of creates a tension, and it's difficult to come back from that.
One of my jokes that I don't do very regularly. I'll chuck it in now and then, but I used to mention the cancer word in that, and somebody said to me, "Just try not to. It doesn't need it." So because it is like you are constantly like thinking, you know, is this, you know, has somebody in the audience had an ordeal with this, or has a family member had an ordeal with this, and can they, you know, because it's a big thing that is, you know, I completely veer away from using that word in my set.
I've completely cut it now.
Yeah, but then it's the same with me.
Doesn't that mean though you've got to be so careful about saying lots of words that could trigger people?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it's suicide or self-harm as well.
So I used to do a bit about failure, and the fact that the basic, I won't go into the joke, but the basic punchline of it was that I was such a failure I tried committing suicide twice and not managed it kind of. And it just I tried it a few times. It just it's because it's not about triggering people in my head. It's about the fact that you know, as a comedian, you want to get laughs. So am I going to get a laugh about, you know, talking about cancer or suicide? And the fact of the matter is that, you know, crowds have to be comfortable to laugh about these things. And
they also have to know that you're okay as well, I think.
yeah. So it's,
I mean, the failure and the suicide thing. I mean, I wouldn't laugh at that myself personally because that's basically what all my mental health problems are down to. My failure and, you know, suicide and stuff. So that's what it's down to. So I wouldn't particularly, you know, find that funny. And, you know, other people might, but I mean, what I was just trying to say, you know, you've got these words. You have to be really careful about, you know, what you're saying, and, you know, or, you know, you're saying like Jimmy Carr and Ricky Gervais will just say anything. Yeah.
I think I think it's down to your own personal opinions as well, isn't it? It's kind of like the cancer one. Somebody said to me, I wouldn't use that word, and the gag was working. You know, that was getting.
Yeah.
And they said I wouldn't use that because it could just bomb it, so I stopped using it. And then the suicide one was just based on the fact that it didn't land. So I will try stuff. I will try stuff. I mean, I do bits about eating disorders and things like that in my set. And whatnot. They tend to land okay. But there could be somebody in the audience who suffered with that, you know, and you know. But yeah, you do have to be careful. There's a responsibility that goes with it, and I think the jokes, if you're going to joke about something that is a taboo subject, then the joke's got to be really, really good.
Yeah.
But the other reason I started to mention mental health and stuff like that is I wanted to be different to everyone else, not doing the same dating or this, that, and the other. Just something that was really personal and just very different.
Yeah, it's all, and the fact is that funny does come from sadness and tragedy. You know, it does. So yeah, I don't know. I think we need to bookend that bit there because that's
A bit like someone slipping on a banana peel, I suppose.
And just to like wrap it up on that question that you asked, Charlie, you can say whatever you want on stage. You know, that nobody's got a gagging order on you. Nobody's going, right, you can't do this. But if you go on stage and start talking about Muslims and bombing and stuff like that, or anything, you know, you're not going to get booked by that promoter again. There's just stuff that you do with personal stuff like we've just talked about. No promoter's going to go, I'm not booking him because he talked about cancer or he talked about his suicide attempt, as long as the punters are laughing. You know, if it's it's a good joke. And, you know, like Danny's just said, if it's self-deprecating, you know, that, you know, you're not punching down on anyone or anything like that, then, you know, that's going to, you know, you can pretty much joke about what you want to joke about. But if you are considering going on the ultra course, they'll probably go through all this stuff with you. You've just got to be true to yourself. But know that if there's something that, you know, is going to get you cancelled, then it's like I said to Danny on this podcast this morning. I don't edit. Don't say anything you don't want going out on Facebook and Instagram and every other social thing. You've got to live by the courage of your own conviction, and be sure that if you tell an edgy joke, a taboo joke, if the joke's shit, you're not going to last very long as a comedian. Simple as that. You know, it's got to be good. So, yeah.
Well, going back to Freddie Quinn, he ended up with a load of death threats, didn't he, from a certain Muslim joke? So
I don't know about that, did he?
Oh, this is a few years back. There's an episode of the podcast called Freddie Got Fatwad. It was getting quite serious at one point. Just getting thousands of messages bombarding him, but luckily that subsided after a couple of weeks.
Wow. I didn't know that. Yeah. No, that's it. You've got to. You know, it's like if you call somebody out in a pub and you take them outside. They turn out to be a boxer. You fucked yourself in the arse there, and
Yeah.
you know, you've got to have the courage of your conviction to follow through on it. Yeah, somebody on. I did a gig last night, and Russ Lee was on, and he's an ex-boxer, and he's talking to a member of the crowd, and he goes, "I'll take you outside," and Russ is like, I was a professional boxer, so it's up to you if you want to take me outside or not. And it was my mate Dan, who's a mechanic. My mechanic. It was quite funny. My mate heckling. You've got to have the courage of your own conviction. What's the best heckle you've ever had?
I've never had one.
You've never had one?
No. To be honest, in the 2.5 years of going to gigs, I've never really seen anyone heckle.
That's brilliant.
They must be incredibly lucky.
Yeah.
There was a gig in Bristol the other week where someone was a bit chopsy, and the MC said, "Oh, it's not Gogglebox, we can see you," and the person just got up and walked out.
I did a similar thing last night. I was on stage and there was a guy who just wouldn't stop talking, and I said, "You think you're in your fucking armchair at home watching telly, aren't you? You're that dickhead who shouts at the telly when the football's on, trying to manage the team, aren't you?" But yeah, it's.
You've had no heckles, but you did have a load of Disney characters kicking off in a bar once, didn't you? It's not the best heckle ever.
That's because the music got turned off.
I've posted a couple of videos. I think Charlie's put them on the Funnyfarm Pod as well of like some of my favourite heckles. Yeah. So I did a gig in Nottingham at the Robin Hood pub for Ben Davies, and I'd done a joke about me being fat, and this woman, she just like walked up to me on stage and started fondling my belly. That's one of the best heckles you're ever going to get. And she went to the toilet, so I just turned around to the crowd and goes, "I don't know if she wants me to follow her." It's quite good. And then, what's the other one? Oh, I did a gig for Debbie Holt, who's a good comedy friend of mine. I closed a charity gig, and I goes on stage and I'm like, "Good evening, Shirebrook, how's everyone doing?" And then this woman just walked up to me and took the microphone off me and started thanking people. I'm like, "Fucking hell, I hadn't even started." She'd got like fake tan on or something, so I gave her some shit about looking like a shit Donald Trump, I think, after that. It is what it is. Yeah, so, but I guess, because my set's quite conversational. So I'm a comedian. I involve the crowd quite a bit. Like straight away, I'll ask for opinion. I'll poll them. I'll talk to them. I'll involve them. So I open myself up a little bit to that. I kind of invite it a little bit. But I guess if you're on stage doing one-liners, you're the opposite. You're going to probably not really interact as much, I guess.
It has been, but I'm starting to sort of bring in bits where I can question people, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
By starting the gig asking people what they think of the beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And going from there, really.
Yeah. What do you feel about this? Because comedy has changed. I started 15 years ago. Like I said, I've been on and off, so I've been out of for a good chunk of time. And you've got the onset of people like Paul Smith doing loads of crowd work.
That's what people expect a comedy show to be. When I mention it at work, everyone's like, "Oh, we're the hecklers," and it's because they've all seen the clips.
Well, there's always been hecklers. There's always been.
But I think they expect it as a big part of the show now, don't they?
I think there's still that reluctance to sit on the front row. I think.
Oh yeah.
A lot of gigs. If you do like professional nights, there's still a bit of a reluctance with that. But when you kind of sometimes you'll go in and literally the front 3 rows are already full, and you think, these are going to be people that are up for it and want to talk to you. So what do you think about that as a one-liner comedian? How do you find it if you're on with a conversational comedian and then you go on after them and do one-liners? Do you find it okay? Do you have to do a bit of crowd work yourself to get into it? Or?
No,
find it.
It's normally okay, to be honest. The only time there's a bit of a, I don't know, juxtaposition is if it's a really, really high energy comedian and me, because I'm sort of quite low to start with and then get more animated. But generally, yeah, it doesn't, it's just a good mix of styles if they're all conversational.
Yeah, and
I
that
think,
is like if you've gone on after, because I'm quite high energy. If you go on after me, then the MC potentially is going to probably slow them down a little bit anyway, so that they can
yeah,
get into your one-liners. That's what I'd do as an MC. I'd tell a couple of short jokes before bringing you on, so that they're kind of used to that. But no, that's great. I really respect one-liner comedians. It's not something that I want to do. But I massively respect it because if you think about it, Charlie, as well, if you think about getting into comedy and styles, there's loads of different styles. But like the
yeah.
truest, purest form is that one-liner. But you imagine, like, for me to feel, I do anecdotes and gags, so I don't. I do short gags, but they're part of anecdotal stories and stuff like that. But you look at Gary Delaney, the amount of jokes that he will have to put in a 20-minute set in comparison with somebody, I don't know, like
Or
Scott.
Jimmy Carr as well, yeah.
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 I mean, Scott Bennett's stories have got tons and tons,
Oh, yeah.
tons and tons of punchlines, but they're all part of a story. So once you've got that kind of memory, your muscle memory takes over. And I guess it's the same with. Do you chunk your jokes into like areas or?
Yeah, actually, yeah, trying to have different sets. There's probably 5 different sections in a 15-minute set.
Yeah, yeah. So you got like 3 minutes, 5 times kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. And how are you finding progression on the scene? Are you progressing quite well? You finding it slow, quick?
A mix of all of it. Some days feels like you really are progressing, and other days not so much. There doesn't seem to be a lot of paid work in Wales, well, yet at my level. So that's why I'm trying to make sure I explore different areas of the country as well, like
I
Bristol Way, Manchester, wherever I can get gigs, really.
think that's what Gareth said as well, wasn't it, Charlie, when he was
Yeah.
on here?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and he's like set his own gigs up.
Oh yeah, that's a really good gig as well.
Yeah, so you've set up a couple of gigs yourself, haven't you?
Uh, yes, which have sort of gone to nothing. Unfortunately, the pub didn't promote it or give it any time of day. So I've got a new venue and a new one coming up. Which I'm hoping will be a lot better.
I think this is a struggle that a lot of people. I mean, I've talked to loads of people setting their own gigs up. Debbie Holt's gig last night was a first night gig, and it was great. It was really, really good. It was done as a bucket split, and all the acts got a decent amount of money.
Yeah,
And the audience were up for it. The venue are behind her. So that'll progress into, hopefully, she'll get some pro budget and that'll turn into a good gig. But I think the key for a gig, I run with Fran Jenking a couple of 2 or 3 gigs in our local area. But we, all of our gigs, the onus is pretty much on the venue to sell the tickets. So they've got to be behind us. Me and Fran both work full time. We're both gigging and all that kind of stuff. So we do promote the gigs. We promote the gigs on our socials and all that kind of stuff. Like
yeah,
everyone.
try and do that.
Yeah,
But the previous venue said they didn't put posters up because people ripped them down. But that's sort of really helpful here.
yeah, that's daft, isn't it? That's daft.
Yeah,
But yeah, the venue's got to be behind the night. It's yeah. We won't do it unless they give us money. They pay us
yeah,
that amount. Whereas a lot of new promoters, I suppose, or new comedians, kind of go into that. This is my local pub. I'm a comedian. Do you want a night? Yeah, we're not going to pay you. And I think a lot of those fizzle out. A lot of those types of gigs do fizzle out because
they seem to.
yeah, it's the same as a ticketed gig over a free entry gig, isn't it? If you ticket it and someone buys a ticket, they're more likely to turn up than if they see a poster.
Yeah,
It's a free night, I'll turn up. But then those level of gigs do, they serve a purpose for new material and stuff, don't they? So,
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry, now someone's just come in, that's all.
Someone coming in.
That's
Oh,
all.
they're just in time for the jingle.
We're going to wrap up because we're at 50 minutes. That's not seemed like we've been on.
No, that's gone quick.
It's gone really quick.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to promote or anything like that? I'm going to hand over to my Charlie. Will see us out in his own special way. But do you have anything you want to promote or talk about for a minute or two?
Not really. The only social media I've got probably is Instagram, which is Danny Moore Comic, but I'm awful at self-promotion.
Yeah.
Unless you are in Chepstow in South Wales on the 2nd of April, then get down to the 5 Halls.
There we are.
Depending when this goes out, obviously.
Yeah, I'm Chris Rich Comedian, at Chris Rich Comedian on TikTok and Instagram. I don't think I've ever said that on the pod. How crap am I? Promotion. Go on.
I've not even started with TikTok yet.
Go on my socials and add me, and that will take away from the temptation of going on our Funnyfarm Facebook and following us because we keep don't we? But it's been a pleasure having you on, Danny, and
thanks for having me.
We're not quite finished yet. Have you watched any of our pods before?
Just a bit. I paid special attention to the Gareth Morris one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then tried to watch a good few of the rest just to bring myself up to speed, really.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this will be out on, let me just figure out where we are. This will be out on Monday, which I believe 30th?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It'll be on the 30th, so this will be out. We'll tag you in, mate, so you can share it far and wide on your socials. And everything like that, and put your links and everything in the comments too.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because that'll be really useful, and everything like that. Charlie.
So you've listened to the pod. So you know about the Funnyfarm Showdown then?
No, I must have missed that.
The pod. That's the best one-liner ever. That is, Danny. That's brilliant. Have you watched the pod? Never heard of the showdown.
Never heard of it. No.
You've obviously not heard this jingle. It'll all come naturally to you, I'm sure, Danny. But you've got to listen to this. Gary Barlow, you listening? You got to listen to this jingle first of all. This will take us into the feature. All right.
Welcome to the Funny Farm. The lads are back, causing harm, talking shite but full of charm. It's the Funny Farm Showdown.
And welcome to this week's Funnyfarm Showdown. And today's subject is animals most likely to be a dark comedian. Oh, we haven't done this one. We haven't done this one before, Chris, and you can't say monkey. Or any type of... Well, what you got to do, Daddy, basically, is think of an animal and give us a reason why they'd be a good as a dark comedian. Now, Chris generally goes for some type of primate, or he does say we've had this before. We've never had this one before, Chris, and you're not having a primate.
Can I just also state, Danny, you can say whatever you want. You will win.
Fair enough.
You won't allow me to win this.
I'm going to mute myself.
Any ideas, Danny? Do you want to go first?
I would go for a hyena.
Good one. They laugh a lot.
Just sort of, give off that vibe. I don't know if it's been influenced by the Lion King, but
that is actually a very good choice. I've got to say, you know what? This Funnyfarm Showdown, I've got to say, our guests do take to it quite easy. You know, and they are quite good at it. Yeah, Chris always.
I do it every week, don't I? And I've done it every week for the last 4 months. So when you start banning me from using certain fucking animals, I'm not allowed to use monkey. I'm not allowed to,
bear, you can't use bear either. Or kangaroo. There's thousands of animals out there. There's thousands of different, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of different species out there. Hyena, come on, you got to beat a hyena.
Yeah.
Hyena's good. I like that because they laugh as well, don't they? They're very good.
Sounds like Danny's a bit of a Disney fan, actually. I can see him with some.
Trying to think of a different animal that I've never kind of had before. Dark comedians, got to be a bit mischievous.
Yeah.
Say fox. Can I have fox?
You can have fox, yeah.
Yeah, because, and it's a personal reason, because I think they leave dark humour all over the place that my dog then fucking rolls in and stinks horribly of. I think they're sly. I love foxes, by the way. I think they're cute, and I wish they'd stop hunting them. Is it banned still? I don't know. Did they repeal?
Yeah.
Yes, it is, yeah.
So I'm glad that's been in this country.
I think Reform are trying to promise it if they get in, which hopefully they won't.
Yeah. What was I saw the other day that Farage, it is Farage as well, right? Because it's garage, not garage, so it's Farage, not Farage, right? He was on about bringing back smoking in public places. And
Was he?
Yeah.
He smokes, isn't it?
I don't smoke anymore, but that would have got. I'm not even kidding. You know, like 4 months ago when I was smoking, that'd get my vote. That would literally. I'd be like, "Fuck it, I'm going Reform." Anyway, I'm going for Fox because they're sly. I think that they do funny things, don't they? They leave the shit all over the place. They eat chickens, and they ruin farmers' lives. They're quite jokey, aren't they? They are jokers. So
well, when you take chickens, you only take the heads. They'll kill every chicken in the coop. Probably just take one, but they'll rip the heads off all of them in the coop.
Yeah. So that's like a one-liner comedian. You see, they just take one bit and then leave you laughing.
Leave the rest, yeah.
The rest for us to pick up as conversationals.
Well, I think Danny definitely trumped you there straight from the beginning, Chris.
What a fucking surprise! What a fucking surprise this is!
I do love your explanations, though. Right,
well, I try, don't I? I do try to come up with the good reason behind it. Because one day maybe I'll woo you. One day maybe I'll woo you. Let's tell him to take me time.
Well, thank you for coming on, Danny. I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, definitely.
Can you give us a one-liner to end the show on?
Oh, I'm trying to think what's the best one. It's stupid, but yeah, my favourite one then. It's more 2 lines. I thought I saw Donald Trump in Tesco's the other day, but it turned out to be a penis-shaped potato. It was a dictator. It was a dictator. Hey, there we are.
I like it, mate. I like it.
That had everything in there. Donald Trump, Tesco's, we love all that type of stuff. We've spoken
about Tesco's. Nice one. Thank you for joining us today, everybody.
Yeah, Danny, thanks for having me.
So much for coming on.
Don't disappear at the end, by the way, Danny.
Oh, yes, stay on at the end.
Okay.
You need to get in touch with us if you'd like to come on and do a guest position like Danny has today. Give us an email at hello@funnyfarmpod.co.uk. Add us on all the socials: Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Twitter, YouTube.
Spotify.
Just not Facebook.
We should set up a Truth account. I might set an account up on Truth.
Do we need any more?
It's Donald Trump's one, isn't it? We can give him some.
Oh. Yeah, why not?
Do it now. Okay, thank you all for listening. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys.